Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural session of the India ASEAN Dyes, Chemicals and Ceramics Virtual Trade Fair, being organized by the Trade Promotion Council of India with the support of the Department of Commerce, Government of India. The ASEAN region is a key market for these products with total imports of organic, inorganic, and miscellaneous chemical products at around $53 billion in 2020. Its total imports of ceramics products in the same year stood at around $46 billion. On behalf of TPCI, I'm honored to welcome His Excellency Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti, Ambassador of India to Indonesia, Her Excellency Mrs. Sujitra Thurai, Ambassador of India to the Kingdom of Thailand, His Excellency Mr. P. Kumaran, High Commissioner of India to Singapore, and Her Excellency Mrs. Devyani Khobragade, Ambassador of India to the Kingdom of Cambodia. I would now like to welcome Your Excellency Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti to deliver your inaugural address.
Good morning, everyone. I am extremely pleased to be present in this inaugural ceremony of the virtual fair for ASEAN countries on dyes and chemicals and ceramics. In these pandemic times, it is commendable that this event has been organized in this fashion. I would like to first of all congratulate all those who are behind organizing this event. As far as Indonesia is concerned, chemicals are very strategic commodities and determine the direction of government policies, especially in the economic sector. With industries in the chemical, pharmaceutical and textile sectors, this particular sector contributes about 265 trillion IDR, which will roughly translate to nearly $200 billion as far as 2019 statistics are concerned. And in the non-pandemic time, it was growing at a rate of almost 8.65% till the first half of 2020. The investment value in the chemical industry sector in Indonesia is nearly $43 billion until the second quarter of 2020. The biggest exporting countries of chemicals to Indonesia are China, Thailand and Saudi Arabia. If we go to the ceramic sector, during 2020, the total imports by Indonesia was nearly $491 million, of which China was the biggest exporter, followed by India. However, one needs to keep in mind that the Indonesian government has carried out a number of strategic policies in order to boost the competitiveness of the national ceramic industry against the threat of imported products. Among others are the application of safeguards on the imposition of safeguard import duties on imports of ceramic dyes products. It is felt that there is ample scope in these two commodities as far as Indian exporters are concerned. Chemicals and ceramics, and through this message I would welcome the participants in this virtual fair and also inform that the Business Association of Indonesia, KADIN, has the information about the fair and has already been informed through KADIN to the Indonesian counterparts to take part in this fair in as large number as possible. With this, I would like to once again congratulate the organizers of this event and wish them all the best for a successful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti. I would now like to invite Your Excellency Mrs. Sujitra Thurai to say a few words.
Namaskar. I'm very happy to note that the TPCI is organizing a virtual trade fair in dyes, chemicals, and ceramic industries from the 28th to the 30th June 2021 with the support of the Department of Commerce of the Government of India. India and Thailand, of course, have very robust economic and commercial engagement, and these ties are growing indeed. And at the moment, our bilateral trade figures for 2020 stand at 10 billion. And in fact, this year it has been very interestingly quite promising with the trade for the first 5 months of 2021 already having crossed $6 billion. So there is huge scope for growth in bilateral trade as well as for expanding the trade basket as well. Major items of trade at the moment between India and Thailand include machinery, gems and jewelry, organic chemicals, iron and steel, auto parts, agricultural and marine products, as well as, of course, pharma. Among the ASEAN countries, Thailand is a very important manufacturer as well as has good demand for dyes, inorganic and organic chemicals, as well as ceramic dyes. Indian companies could explore the opportunities in these sectors, particularly in the area of agrochemicals. Exports of organic chemicals from India to Thailand has grown by about 13% during the 5-year period from 2016 to 2020 and has reached nearly $300 million in 2020. Thailand is a major agricultural nation, has a huge production, and crop protection chemicals market is also growing, particularly because of a shift to high value added cash crops. Thailand is one of the leading importers also of ceramic tiles in the world due to the rising demand in the country and preference for international tile patterns. Thailand mainly imports ceramic tiles from several European countries as well as from Australia. So there's a good opportunity for Indian ceramics exporters to explore the Thai market for increasing exports, particularly for tableware, kitchenware, other household items, as well as toilet articles made out of ceramics. Several Indian companies are already present in Thailand in these sectors, and we hope that their share of the market grows. We are very happy that 45 Indian companies will be participating in this virtual trade fair and will be displaying and promoting their products. TPCI has taken a very timely initiative to organize this trade fair, and I'm sure that it will contribute greatly to the growth of the India-Thailand bilateral trade ties, and I wish the trade fair all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would now like to welcome Your Excellency Mr. P. Kumaran to deliver your address.
Dear friends from the TPCI team, participants at this virtual trade fair, Namaskar. It is my pleasure to join you today at the inaugural session of the India-ASEAN Virtual Trade Fair on dyes, chemicals, and ceramics. My heartiest congratulations to TPCI for taking the initiative to organize this virtual trade fair, taking into account the pandemic-related constraints. It is an ideal platform for the participants to enhance their visibility, both locally and internationally, so that they are well placed to take advantage of these contacts whenever travel resumes. The ASEAN region, with almost 661 million inhabitants, average annual growth of 5.2%, and a GDP of more than $3 trillion, is projected to become the fourth largest single market in the world by 2030, putting it only behind the US, China, and the European Union, apart from India itself. Another plus point for Southeast Asia is its strategic location. It is situated at the confluence of major trade routes with $5.3 trillion of global trade passing through it each year. Last year alone, India exported nearly $17 billion worth of ceramics, dyes, and chemical products to ASEAN. These impressive statistics, no doubt, present an attractive market for the dyes, chemicals, and ceramics industry in India. Singapore, an integral part of ASEAN, is an important partner and friend for us. India views Singapore as a key springboard for its ASEAN outreach. We have achieved significant progress in our bilateral cooperation and international partnership with Singapore. As you are aware, Singapore was the first country with which India signed a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement in 2005. Since then, the India-Singapore partnership witnessed a significant expansion. Bilateral trade expanded from under $7 billion in 2004-05 to nearly $28 billion in 2018-19. In 2020-21, bilateral trade stood at over $21 billion, despite the setback posed by the pandemic. Our exports totaled nearly $9 billion, with a decline of 2.8% over the previous year. Currently, Singapore is India's sixth largest trading partner, with a share of 3.2% of India's overall trade. It is clear that a significant portion of this trade is meant for other countries in the region, which take advantage of Singapore's status as a trade and logistics hub. Singapore is also a leading investment source and destination for India. Over the last 20 years, the total investment into India from Singapore is almost $115 billion and accounts for nearly 22% of the total FDI inflows. Singapore is also among the largest sources of external commercial borrowings for India. As far as the chemicals and dyes industry in India is concerned, it covers more than 80,000 commercial products, and its value is expected to reach over 300 billion by 2025, with a solid CAGR of 9.3%. This is driven by rising demand in the end user segments of specialty chemicals, food processing, personal care, petrochemicals, etc. Supported by a healthy influx of FDI over the years, it is impressive that Indian chemicals contribute about 3.4% to the global chemical industry. I'm happy that our chemical companies are increasingly investing in innovative and sustainable solutions, focusing on issues such as water, environmental impact, raw materials, safety over life cycle, and energy use. I'm convinced that recent measures such as the PLI scheme and our push for Atmanirbhar Bharat will help advance growth in the chemicals sector. The global trend towards de-risking supply chains linking China will also benefit us. The pandemic has served as a wake-up call for many industries and organizations. Working together will ensure prosperity for all while protecting our environment and promoting the emergence of an innovative ecosystem. Let me again wish everyone here a fruitful time at the India-ASEAN Virtual Trade Fair on Dyes, Chemicals and Ceramics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now like to invite Your Excellency Mrs. Devyani Khobrakade to say a few words.
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be here at the opening ceremony of the India-ASEAN Dyes, Chemical, Ceramic Virtual Fair being organized by the Trade Promotion Council of India to promote Indian ceramics, chemical and allied products to the ASEAN market. First of all, allow me to extend on behalf of the Embassy of India, Cambodia, my heartfelt congratulations to the Trade Promotion Council of India for taking this initiative and warmly welcoming ambassadors, officials from the Department of Commerce and other participants who are taking part in the virtual trade fair across the world. India-ASEAN trade and investment relations have been growing steadily, with ASEAN being India's fourth largest trading partner. While ASEAN-India trade is increasing, investment flows are also substantial both ways, with ASEAN accounting for more than approximately 19% of the investment flow into India since 2000. Coming to Cambodia, it enjoys a special place in India's foreign policy dynamics and the Act East policy that has ensured that Cambodia received concerted attention. India's engagement with Cambodia is undertaken through a variety of initiatives, both at the bilateral and multilateral level, including ASEAN. Under the Mekong-Ganga cooperation, the economic and commercial relations between India are facilitated widely. The bilateral trade, though small, has been growing in the last few years between India and Cambodia. The principal commodities exported from India are bulk drugs, drug formulations, motor vehicles including auto, motors, cycle and spare parts, various kinds of yarn, fabric, made up and finished leathers, while the main exports from Cambodia are man-made fibers, cotton including accessories, footwear of leather and plywood, etc. In 2019, India exported products worth US $203.8 million to Cambodia and imported products worth US $46.6 million. Total bilateral trade in 2019 has reached US $250.4 million with a 10% increase over the last year. India has extended duty-free tariff preference DFTP scheme to Cambodia since August 2008. Under this scheme, which covers almost 98% of India's total tariff lines, India unilaterally provides preferential market access for exports from Cambodia. With a view to provide an institutional framework for increasing investments, both sides are striving for an early signing of a bilateral investment treaty and have exchanged several drafts already. Coming to Cambodia's success story, it has undergone a significant transition in the last 2 decades, achieving a growth of around 7% annually, reaching lower middle income status, and is aspiring to attain upper middle income status by 2030. While Cambodia's economy is expected to shrink between 1.9 to 4% this year due to the impact of COVID, it is expected to bounce back to a growth rate of around 4% in 2021. As is the case with almost all countries, while COVID pandemic has affected the bilateral trade between India and Cambodia, a close look at the bilateral trade figures of the last 5 years prior to the COVID pandemic shows that the growth trajectory is on the positive. I believe that trade will substantially grow in 2021 despite the pandemic. Cambodia has huge potentials for dyes, chemicals and ceramic, considering the fact that the garment and construction sectors are 2 main pillars of growth in Cambodia. The Indian companies should look at Cambodia not as a small country of around 16 million people, but as a gateway to ASEAN, and explore all possible avenues to establish business linkages between Cambodia and its various companies. I believe that promotion of business and private investment is essential for growth in trade in commercial relations between India and ASEAN. I would like to urge the Cambodian business companies to utilize this opportunity provided to strike mutually beneficial ties and deals. Both India and Cambodia are committed to improving the business ties between the 2 countries. I hope to see some fruitful business cooperation between Indian and ASEAN businesses during this forum. At the Embassy of India, we always remain committed to ensuring a smooth and conducive investment and trade platform for companies from both sides to increase trade and commerce between our 2 countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. We are hopeful that the India-ASEAN Dyes, Chemicals and Ceramics Virtual Trade Fair this year will be beneficial to participants, trade visitors and buyers alike in these difficult times.